welcome to the stage our X-Men. First and foremost, let's hear it for Ray Chase, Mr. Matthew Watterson, and AJ Lacasio. Yes.
Guys, how are you doing?
You get your own chair to share with
you. Listen, I think that is so appropriate. I'm not saying that we planned this, but we got to make up some things for people coming between you. Like, wow. We're fine. Wow.
He is flexible.
Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of such a phenomenal series in X-Men 97. Before we start, I want to give you guys your flowers. It was nominated for an Emmy, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Make some noise of that. Yeah, no, that's big talk. That's big talk because this was true storytelling. This was not just an animated project, not just a superhero project. You touched hearts. Whether you intended to or not, you broke us in many ways. Definitely you.
Sorry.
But I think there's something that needs to be stated because the three of you are relatively newcomers to this series. You're not the original actors from the original series. So taking over for Norm is a big deal. What was it like to step into the shoes of Norm Spencer for Cyclops?
Yeah, I play Cyclops in X-Men, and I auditioned for the role. It was a strict voice match. They were like, we want to do exactly what it sounded like in the 90s. Auditioned, got the part, recorded the first episode, and then re-recorded it 4 more times.
Wow.
As we sort of found out how closely do we want this to match? And I think we were just kind of changing the style of it a little to make it less the superhero 90s style acting and bring it more into the more grounded acting of today, and but with a little bit of that 90s flavor too. We kind of found a part. It took a long time to do, but I think it came out great. I think what the show does really well is marrying the two sides
Absolutely.
of today and yesteryear. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, very well said. Very well said. Make some noise for that, y'all.
Hey, I'll also ask the crowd, just by applause, we okay if we do season 1 spoilers? Applause if yes. And then anyone who's no at all? Even if it's a single one. Okay, yeah, all right, we'll do season 1 spoilers. Sounds good. Yeah, great.
No season 2 spoilers. Disney has shooters. Okay. Just letting you know. AJ, what about you? I mean, to take over for Chris, that's a big role. Even though he was still a part of this season as Cable, but Gambit. I mean,
Yeah, no, it was terrifying. I mean, I was still when people come up and they're like, "You did a great job," I'm like, "Thank you," because he's so iconic and he's not specifically Cajun, he's not specifically, he's Southern, he's kind of his own Canadian Cajun, because, Chris is Canadian, so it's its own thing. So when I went in, I was like, do you guys just want to do a straight up voice match? Do you want to do something where we bring a little more Cajun in? And we kind of went somewhere in the middle, but still adhere as much as possible to the original sound.
Absolutely.
And I've been, up until people heard it, was just full of anxiety. Because I was like, people are going to crucify me if this sounds wrong. It's like, hey everybody, I'm Gambit.
You would have loved it. Absolutely. No. So Matthew, to come in with Magneto and the level of showmanship that you have to bring to this character who is so robust and so very well thought out over years and years of storytelling, what was it like to put that helmet on?
Similar to AJ, I was mortified for probably the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Come on.
Well, David had created such a specific and beloved character.
Sure.
And also, we record solo. And so, when we first start recording, there's no visuals or anything, and so we don't have any other reference. We're relying entirely on our voice director Meredith and the series director Jake and either the other directors and the writer of it to guide us as to where we're going to be. And Magneto and Storm are theatrical.
Come on now.
They are big
That's
and
right.
they are grandiose, and there was very much.
Now, considering that this is a continuation of a beloved cartoon series, were you fans of the original 92 show?
Am I the only one that can say yes?
Yeah, man, it's so awkward. I hate it.
Yes. I am a true fan. These two fakes. No.
Why was off to the Victorian boarding school?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
British, yeah, you have a
You
good
were being
excuse.
whipped by nuns.
Not nuns, older boys.
Older boys.
That's screaming for Magento if I ever heard it right there. Yeah,
I mean, so it's not cool. I'm not like, yeah, it's really cool. It's a big fan. But my little brother and I, Jamie, would like record all the episodes of VHS, and I would take notes literally because I couldn't keep track of the storylines. I'd be like, okay, this person's related to this person. Sabretooth's with the father of who, and Trask is what, and so there was, I kept copious notes, and I wanted to be Gambit. I would throw cards, which would just work. They would. If you've ever tried to throw, it doesn't. I've seen those people who like slice a pickle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can't do that.
That's a mutation, guys. That's a mutation.
Yeah, exactly. But now I collected all the. I still have my, because I was a nerd, in the box on card, childhood Gambit and Wolverine. Yeah, because I like the art so much that I was like, I don't want to take it out. So I had other Gambit figures, but I was a huge fan. The Pizza Hut stuff with the cups and the.
What y'all remember about that right there? I mean, you just looking back right there.
Yeah,
First
Pizza
look
Hut.
back,
Oh man, yeah. Pizza Hut had like a stamp. Like there was like a Rocketeer and like Fern Gully and X-Men.
Rocketeer was my shit. That was a lot.
Yeah, like Pizza Hut had a monopoly on just cool stuff.
Listen, let's bring back that level of Pizza Hut.
I know. Except the Fern Gully one. So the Fern Gully one came with seeds. Does anyone remember? Now I'm dating myself. It came with a bag of seeds. And they're like,
Because they were trying to get you
because they're
Grow your own pizza.
Yeah. It's like,
They had a plan. They were trying to
spread the
sell
magic of Fern Gully.
Did
Plant
they
a bag of seeds.
Did they tell you what the seeds were for, or was this just like put them in the garden and
That's
see
what
what
we
grows?
find out.
Yeah, marijuana.
Just grow weed to make you hungry to eat more pizza.
Think about it. That's okay. That is genius. actually.
Children arrested all over America in the 90s. But anyway, I was a huge fan. I mean, I still am, and so much of my like collection is all. I have a whole Gambit case that way predates the show.
That's awesome.
So, yes.
You also, I imagine that you at home have 10 copies of that shirt, and that's when you throw up when you throw up your wardrobe, that's all you have.
Exactly. Honestly, it's gotten to that point. I went to Hot Topic, and now they have this.
I've heard of this.
Snap! Yeah, and I was like, oh, and I like freaked out and grabbed as if I need another one. But yeah, it's like there's an episode of Doug where he opens up his closet, and it's just all the same thing. That's basically become my wardrobe now.
That's smart. That's how you do it.
Go to a con, cut off the sleeves, and yeah. So
Are we going to do the midriff though? Like you got it.
listen,
Come
man,
on,
I gotta
man.
eat. I gotta eat.
Hey,
You can't. And those guys like Chris Pratt and stuff who see in movies, like they've been fasting for weeks.
sure, but I'm just saying the beignets. You gotta earn it.
I
That's just what
like
it is.
so. Yeah, I just see me like. All right, let's do this.
No, I love it. I love it. Now, even though you guys weren't necessarily fans of the original show, what is your entrance into X-Men as a comic book series or characters? Was it live action movies that you guys knew them from in any other way? How did you?
Fantastic, and I'd open the pages and just started reading the story about what made this show so iconic. It's like watching Citizen Kane today, where you're like, I don't know, what's the big deal? But it's like, that was the first movie where they filmed a ceiling. They'd never done that before. That stuff was groundbreaking. And you look back and you don't realize why it's so groundbreaking.
Right.
So reading that book gave me such an appreciation for the level. It was one of those things where it didn't have to go so hard. It was because they said, we have this opportunity to tell these stories. Let's use the medium of Saban Entertainment to actually deliver something punching way above our weight class. And I think they did that again with this thing. I think everyone was expecting, it's another reboot series, and they just said, let's take it to the next level.
1,000,000%. Matthew, what about you?
No, and mine was the films because I was in boarding school in England, so I didn't have access to the show when it was on. There were always kids that had some of the X-Men comics, but it was never a continuous storyline. It was never the same era, so you'd see one here and there.
Okay.
And then the next time you saw it, it was a different era. All the relationships had changed. People were on different sides, and it was cool, but I couldn't sort of follow it. So it was the live action films. But even having said that, from some of the comics and things, I know thinking back, there was nothing in the films which was new information. So somehow, just through popular culture, I assimilated a lot of X-Men lore.
Of course.
And so then it was, it was the initial films, and then from there, sort of then starting to pick more up. And then, when this show came along, fortunately at that point, Disney already had X-Men back.
Right.
So Bo gave me a list of like, these are the episodes that you need to start with. And so I just, when your homework is watching the X-Men animated series, it's a pretty good homework.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
That was what it was. It was go back, watch that, and go from there.
I love it. No, that's fantastic. Just out of curiosity, with this first season, was there any particular episodes that stand out as your favorite? Not just in the sense of what you performed, but watching it and seeing what they ultimately did storytelling-wise. Do you have a favorite episode that stood out?
One of the things that was cool was that I wasn't in every episode,
Right.
so I didn't have scripts for anything that I wasn't in, which meant that I loved all the ones that I wasn't in because those I got to just watch.
I totally feel the same way. Yeah. Completely, yeah. All of them were surprises, and all of them were such a great dessert that you get to see. They're like, oh, what did they come up with this time? Yeah.
Right. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Everything after episode 6 for me then.
It doesn't have to be that same criteria for you. How does 5 fit for you?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, so it's bittersweet, obviously, because of what happens. Spoilers.
Wait. Before you say that, this young lady playing Storm, she actually has not seen it yet.
What?
Yeah. She's like front row in here. Well, listen, no. This is the thing.
How do we get around it?
No. We don't, because she said someone's already told her what happens.
Was it the person to your left? Who's dressed like
Who
Gambit?
told you? Who told you what happened in it? It was you. Wow! Right there. Okay, all right, that's good.
All right, I cried too.
Yes.
So, well, you know what happens, but I loved the episode. It's weird because when we recorded it, you don't see.
Has that baby watched it?
Yeah, the baby watched it. Yeah, that's
Just bringing it up.
That's a recording of me when they called me up and said, "Hey, congratulations, you're on X-Men." But after episode 5, and I was like, "What?" I was very disheartened. But then when I read it and realized just how good it was, and it's just a piece for Gambit, because I'm such a massive Gambit fan, to see him get to be written in a way that was impactful and meaningful. He wasn't just a joke wearing like a fuchsia chest piece. He actually did something, and the animation's so beautiful. Like that whole thing, I was like cheering and screaming.
Absolutely.
I love it. There is sort of a twist of sadness to it, but what a cool moment. And I mean, just as far as favorite, it's hard to choose a favorite because it all meshes into one thing to me too, because it's it's all so beautiful. But yeah, I'll just say episode 5 is easy.
Okay, that's it. It's one of the favorite. Matthew, did you have a favorite?
Funnily enough, I like the pilot. I like the first
Yes.
episode.
Yeah, that was
that is a thing that I can't think of another show that I can't think of another show has done in terms of not being a reboot, not being a different iteration of just this show ended 25 years ago. We're going to pick up as though this is just the next season that came out 6 months later, not 25 years later, and make it work, and make it so that if you just start there, it makes sense, and make it if you had seen the previous 5 seasons, it makes sense, and sort of reintroduce you to the characters in certain cases, tweak them a little bit and give you a new view on them while not making it suddenly feel like you're being jerked in a different direction. The skill that was required by production to make that story, and it was 300 people who were, involved with the production maybe, or 400 people, and the rest of it were rabid fans, which could go horribly wrong.
Yes, true.
They shut the doors.
You did really go badly. And as Ray said, none of us had seen anything of it, and so it was a really cool experience to see it with people who were rabid fans, and that means that if it goes well, it's going to go great. If it goes badly, it's going to go badly. But the response was fantastic, and also, like Ray was saying, except for a couple of ADR things, none of us had seen much. So that was the first chance that we got to see what everybody else had done.
And each other.
That's what I mean.
I think I met you that night, right? Oh, you AJ had seen.
We did an IGN thing. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's it. That happened before?
That was before. Because we were all what can we say? Who
What
are
can
you
we say?
people?
We don't even know if the show's good.
Yeah,
That's
right.
crazy. Yeah.
It's funny. So I sat in front of Guy, who's Sunspot, and he's like, if a puppy were to become a human just instantly, that's what he is. So I didn't know really who he was, and he was sitting behind me. Every time Gambit would show up or do anything, he would shake my chair and go, "Yeah, man!" And just started shaking. He's like,
"Get off me!
Go!" He just kept shaking me. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Sorry. I don't know what I said.
No.
It was really sweet and funny, and I didn't realize now that we've gotten to know each other, we've hung out. He's like that all the time. But yeah, it was like a 40x theater experience for me.
That's awesome. You didn't have to pay anything extra.
No, exactly.
I love it. Guys, I want to invite you to ask some questions. So we got the microphone right here. While they're doing so, I want to ask you, in that first viewing, episode 1 had so many like hallmark moments, things that like, for those of us that only had to watch it one at a time, we knew that we were watching something special. At what point was it for each of you in that first episode that you were like, oh my God, this is it?
I mean, the theme song.
Come on, let's
Like,
go.
what are we talking about? That
That's
was
what
like,
I'm
it
into.
was, because we'd never seen that either.
Yeah.
And we knew that they were going to use the same music, but we had no idea, like, would they update it or anything like that.
Right.
And we knew we were back, yeah.
Solid.
I mean, funnily for me, it was actually the Cyclops scenes.
Come on.
Yeah, it
So,
was.
like,
Yeah.
Cyclops is such a difficult character to get right,
Mhm.
like Superman, like Captain America, because he's such an earnest guy that it's tough to get him right and make him interesting. And what Ray did, and what the writers did and the directors did, they made him so awesome so fast. And he is himself. It's not like they went, oh, let's make him dark and edgy and give him a trench coat and make him swear. Like, no, they get to know who he is,
Yeah.
and Ray's doing who he is, but he's awesome. And so when I started seeing the Cyclops, like the Cyclops combat scenes and then the Cyclops, dialogue scenes, I'm like, oh, all right, if they've got Cyclops down that well,
Everything's good.
Yeah, they were like, his beams they're not fire beams,
No.
they're
Concussive.
concussive.
Yeah.
So the fact that they knew they used his powers correctly in that first scene immediately, yeah.
The
That was it.
defense, him in the warehouse, like
Yeah.
pushing back and doing all. There's a lot of like Marvel versus Capcom stuff. That
Yes.
I'm like, there's when you meet the crew or you meet anyone behind the scene, they're as like, oh my God, I love this. The Sega game, Marvel versus Capcom. So they're all just trying to fit that stuff in, and their vision for what it is so clear and precise and correct that it's like, honestly, yeah, Cyclops I feel like is the fulcrum. He's the nucleus of this, and if you get him wrong, it's like, But every time, that has nothing to do with your performance. But no, I mean, all jokes aside, like your performance and the actual characterization of him is where everything rests. And when it opens up and he's so spot on, you're like, yep, we're in, we're back. And Beast too. Beast is hard to nail. And every time he opened his mouth, it's like, that's the funniest, most Beast thing I've ever heard. Yeah. I'm sorry. Well, we can talk about like, I love you. No, I love you. I love you.
We love you, and we got some fans that
Yes.
will
Hello.
co-sign. Hello.
Who do you think has the best hair of all the characters?
Gambit. Next question.
Oh,
Wow.
Magneto.
Magneto has pretty beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Xavier, because he doesn't have to do anything. He just roll out of bed and looks ready to go. You know how much time it takes Magneto to get ready in the morning? He uses a can of Aquanet and a hairdryer for an hour every morning to look like that.
But it works though.
Who's your favorite? Who's got the best hair you think? Beast.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Rose.
Rose.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
Hard to argue. Hard to argue.
Can't argue on that.
Good job. Good job. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Now you have to talk at that height too.
Hello.
Your direction to make this.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hello. So first I want to say thank you. As a kid that woke up on Saturday morning, started with Baby Huey at 6 a.m.
Let's
and
go.
went all the way to X-Men animated series. This was amazing. Like, it's really hard to think that, again, 25 years and we picked up like 6 months later and it was so great.
Does that count as a spoiler? Somebody says maybe. Would you be open to being in the What If season 3 if you got the opportunity?
Don't know much about this.
Okay.
So the Watcher is a cosmic entity
Yes.
that's there for important moments.
events.
And so, I mean, I think any of us would love to be employed.
Yes.
Do we want to be in another show?
You want to be in another show?
Sure.
That's how we can answer that one.
That sounds great.
We should have had Josh here. This is Captain America.
Captain America,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's here at the con?
Yeah, the
Ah,
con.
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Gonna wedge him in on that couch with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We messed up. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Solid yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi. If you could have any which would it be and why?
Any X-Men superpower, which would it be?
I feel like the genie where you wish for more wishes, I would choose Morph. You just get to be them all. That's too much fun. Yeah. That's the best one.
Okay, I like that.
I have a lot of small children, so I would go with multiple man who shows up in fire because then there's one for each kid, there's one to work, there's one to fix stuff. Like for the next 10 years, that's always going to be my answer.
Smart.
I would choose Leech so you guys couldn't have those.
Damn!
It's rock, paper, scissors all along.
Yeah. No, I think of Morph all the time because I set this up one of the things we did where it got the idea of because I do voice matching for different celebrities and stuff, and the idea of just showing up as the celebrity would be really funny. And then you don't have to do any practice.
It just comes down to money with you, doesn't it, AJ?
Well, I mean, no, that would be fun. It's like, oh my God, Tom Holland's here. And it's just like, hey guys, just like, yeah, it's funny that I would use my power for my normal job. Yeah.
For actors, we like being other people, not ourselves. Except for Matthew, who would create more of himself.
That's more Matthew. He didn't say that any of them were going to be actors, though. He's like,
This one's a dentist. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love your jacket.
That's right.
Hello.
I've kind of got a little bit of a layered question, if you'll indulge me.
Okay.
Was there any anxiety walking the X-Men IP back 30 years, nothing happened, especially with Cyclops going from being close to the modern day to a domestic terrorist to the way he was in the 90s, or Magento coming from a Professor X-like arc back down to being a domestic terrorist, or Gambit actually having a character arc?
Well,
I've been out in that one.
yeah.
He's had some stuff in the comics.
Yeah.
More or less.
I mean, not as pivotal as what you did.
I guess.
I feel like the anxiety for that rested on the showrunners to make those kinds of choices, and we were just along for the ride. We did what they said, and we were like, yeah, of course, we'll do our best to give you the type of performance, the sound, but it was those guys making those choices, and I think they absolutely nailed it. Yeah, a hard needle to thread.
Yeah, I mean, they did such an incredible job of boiling down the amount of content that is covered in just this first season and getting stuff into the episodes it honestly wasn't a thing that occurred to me, because I would read, like I said, I would read the scripts and just be like, I need to put so much thought and attention into what is the density of what's in here that, as Ray said, that work had already been done long before it came to me.
I imagine reading the scripts like Bella Swan when she's depressed about Edward, where she's just staring out a window for 4 seasons. Where it's just like, Matthew, you have to wake up, and yes, I know you're going to make fun of me for knowing Twilight that well. I've seen that movie many, many times with a lot of wine.
That's right.
You got to watch it wine drunk. It's really Sorry. That was a couch.
Thanks.
Thank you. We're within the last 5 minutes, so we'll try to get through you guys as quickly as possible.
Hello.
Hello. This question is for AJ. This is horribly off topic of X-Men stuff.
Go
but
for it.
Please.
It's a Voltron question. So I think within the Voltron fandom, a large section of it, at least for better or for worse, is really focused on ships.
Yes.
And stuff and shipping.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I wanted to ask if you had a favorite ship that you were really hoping would pan out, or what was the most horrifying and surprising shipping thing you heard about, or something like that.
Well, I won't address the second one. Because just imagine it. Everything has happened on the internet.
That's fair.
Lotora all the way. Lotor and Allura, I think, were destined to be together, and I still believe that they are. So that's my. Sorry to everyone that's like, what is it?
I was in Voltron. I had a couple episode arc as a character named Lieutenant and then Warlord Lon. So I ship Lolon.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever talked about it with you.
It's funny, Isaac was Adam, was Shiro's lover at the end of the. It's where we all sort of. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't in Voltron.
No, you weren't even born yet.
Terrible.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, no, let's just say thank you.
Hello.
Hi. What's the hardest part about being a voice actor?
showing up on time.
What's that?
The hardest part about being a voice actor is one job doesn't pay for anything. You have to always be working and finding more work. You're always auditioning. We spend most of our time auditioning. It's 90% of the job. Auditioning, getting, rejecting, and so then once you actually got it, that's just absolutely, that's delight. That's your dream come true. So as far as the hardest part is continue to show up for your job, which is auditioning. That is our job. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
That's
you.
a rough way to put that, but yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, people just assume it's like, oh, you're on this show, you must have a house and be rich, and it's like, that's not how this works. Yeah,
I mean, as the way Ray put it, friends and family will, change jobs. We have to do like job interviews and look for a new job, and it's awful. And even though people move careers way more frequently now than they did 40 years ago, like if they move jobs like 7-8 times in their in their working life for 45 years, that's a lot. We're trying out for new jobs anywhere from 8 to 15 times a night.
Right.
And so you are just
Also, a weird detail about our lives that's weird is someone asked me, was like, oh, there's something called DocuSign, do you know it? I'm like, we sign our tax documents every day. Imagine signing a 1099 and W-2 every single day. Yeah.
I live on DocuSign.
Yes.
So put stock in that because usually
What's
that's
that?
I have a pro account. It is important, yeah.
Yeah, most people at the end of
Never
the year
been sexier.
Yeah.
you get like your W-2 or whatever, and we're in a position where like, all right, I have 65 different companies I have to get
Exactly.
tax documents from.
Stressful stuff.
Or
It's
the
stuff you
IRS.
don't think about when
Yeah.
voice actors tax documents.
And it's not even, like, those 65 aren't all cool things. It's like you went, "Wah," in the background of the movie,
Yes.
and they went, perfect. Anyway, sorry. Hello. You have 50 seconds.
So my question is, now that the show's over now, do you ever just like stare into the mirror and just like pretend you're somebody else voicing your character? Just like Magento trying to pretend he's Wolverine, like, hey, or something like that.
We do, my wife and I, certainly all the time.
Where's this going?
Anytime. Anytime that we talk about that specific kind of pants, we always say, Gene! Every time. That's a good thing in our life.
well done. Well
Yeah.
done.
Mine is the Wolverine thing. Gene. Is my go-to Gene.
Yes.
Gene. Or there's also more. No. Because it's so high and it's so low. No.
Or the Professor X scream from the other one.
We've all done that one. Absolutely. Maggie, do you do one outside of Magento? You can tell us.
I mean, I like I said, I have small children, so the amount of times a day that I just walk into a room and go, oh dear.
Anime Columbus, do me a favor, make some noise, show some love. It is wonderful.